Python, the Swiss Army knife of programming. Game development. Python has Pygame for simple 2D games, but it lacks the speed and power for AAA titles. Great for scripting, but not full-scale game development. 5 out of 10. Web development. With Django and Flask, Python makes web development fast and efficient, but it's not ideal for real-time apps, but still a solid choice. 8 out of 10. Mobile development. You can build apps with Kivy or Beware, but they're not as smooth as native Kotlin or Swift apps. Not the best option. 4 out of 10. AI and machine learning. Python dominates AI with TensorFlow and PyTorch, making it the industry standard. No competition. 10 out of 10. Systems programming. Python isn't built for low-level programming, lacking speed and memory control. Stick to C, C++, or Rust. 3 out of 10. Automation and scripting. From web scraping to DevOps, Python makes automation super easy. A scripting powerhouse. 10 out of 10. JavaScript, the king of the web. Game development. You can make browser games with Phaser.js and even 3D games with 3.js, but it's not ideal for big titles. Decent for casual games. 6 out of 10. Web development. JavaScript is the web. Every modern website runs on it, and with frameworks like React, Vue, and Svelte, it's unstoppable. 10 out of 10. Mobile development. With React Native and Ionic, JavaScript can build mobile apps, but performance isn't as smooth as native Swift or Kotlin. Still, it's widely used. 7 out of 10. AI and machine learning. JS has TensorFlow.js for AI, but Python dominates this field. It's improving, but not the first choice. 5 out of 10. Systems programming. JavaScript isn't built for low-level programming. It runs in the browser, not the OS. Stick to Rust or C++. 2 out of 10. Automation and scripting. With Node.js, JavaScript can automate tasks, handle servers, and even control IoT devices. Not as simple as Python, but very capable. 8 out of 10. Java, the language that refuses to die. Game development. Java powers games like Minecraft and has great game engines like libGDX, but it's not as optimized as C++. Decent, but not the best. 7 out of 10. Web development. Spring Boot makes Java great for back-end development, powering enterprise websites and banking systems. Solid, but not as fast as JavaScript for the front end. 8 out of 10. Mobile development. Before Kotlin, Java was the default for Android apps. It's still widely used and super reliable. 9 out of 10. AI and machine learning. Java has libraries like Deep Learning 4J, but it's not as beginner-friendly as Python for AI. It works, but there are better options. 6 out of 10. Systems programming. Java is not low-level like C or Rust, but it's used in large-scale enterprise systems. Good for high-performance apps, not OS development. 5 out of 10. Automation and scripting. You can automate tasks with Java, but it's more verbose than Python or JavaScript. Powerful, but not the easiest. 6 out of 10. C#, Microsoft's powerhouse language. Game development. C# is the heart of Unity, one of the most popular game engines. Perfect for indie and AAA games. 9 out of 10. Web development. With ASP.NET, C# is great for enterprise web apps, but it's not as popular as JavaScript for front-end. Still, it's powerful. 8 out of 10. Mobile development. With Xamarin and .NET MAUI, you can build cross-platform mobile apps, but it's not as widely used as Kotlin or Swift. 7 out of 10. AI and machine learning. C# has ML.NET, but AI developers still prefer Python. It works, but it's not the first choice. 6 out of 10. Systems programming. C# is mostly for Windows applications, not low-level OS development. Good for software, not for kernels. 5 out of 10. Automation and scripting. With PowerShell and .NET tools, C# can automate tasks, but it's not as lightweight as Python. 7 out of 10. C++, the OG of high-performance programming. Game development. C++ runs the biggest game engines like Unreal Engine, making it the go-to for AAA games. Absolute powerhouse. 10 out of 10. Web development. C++ can be used for web backends, but it's not as common as JavaScript, Python, or even Java. Overkill for most web apps. 4 out of 10. Mobile development. You can build mobile apps with C++ using frameworks like Qt, but it's not as native-friendly as Kotlin or Swift. 6 out of 10. AI and machine learning. C++ is used for AI frameworks like TensorFlow because of its speed, but coding AI in C++ is way harder than Python. 8 out of 10. Systems programming. C++ is the language for OS, drivers, and performance-critical applications. If speed matters, C++ is king. 10 out of 10. Automation and scripting. You can automate with C++, but why would you? Python or JavaScript are way easier. 3 out of 10. PHP, a web development legend, but not much else. Game development. PHP and game dev? Not really. You might find some browser-based games, but it's not built for this. 2 out of 10. Web development. PHP powers WordPress, Laravel, and over 75% of websites. It's battle-tested, but not as modern as Node.js. 9 out of 10. Mobile development. PHP isn't meant for mobile apps, but it can be used for backends. Native devs use Kotlin, Swift, or Flutter instead. 3 out of 10. AI and machine learning. PHP has some AI libraries, but nobody really uses it for machine learning. Python dominates here. 3 out of 10. Systems programming. PHP is strictly for web applications. You won't see it running operating systems or embedded devices. 2 out of 10. Automation and scripting. PHP can automate web-related tasks, but it's not as flexible as Python or Bash for general scripting. 6 out of 10. Rust, the language that's taking over systems programming. Game development. Rust is great for game engines like Bevy, but it's still catching up to C++ in the AAA space. 7 out of 10. Web development. With WebAssembly and frameworks like Oxum, Rust is fast and secure, but not mainstream for web development. 7 out of 10. Mobile development. Rust can build mobile apps, but it's mostly used for performance-critical libraries, not full apps. 6 out of 10. AI and machine learning. Rust is gaining AI libraries like Burn, but Python is still the go-to for ML. It's fast but not yet dominant. 6 out of 10. Systems programming. Rust is memory safe, super fast, and is even used to rewrite parts of the Linux kernel. 10 out of 10. Automation and scripting. Rust is powerful but overkill for scripting. You can automate tasks, but Python is way easier. 5 out of 10. Go. Google's secret weapon for high-performance apps. Game development. Go isn't built for game dev, but engines like EBIT Engine exist. Still, it's nowhere near C++ or C#. 4 out of 10. Web development. Go is a back-end beast. With frameworks like Gin and Fiber, it powers fast, scalable web services. 9 out of 10. Mobile development. Go can be used for mobile apps via Go Mobile, but it's not a primary choice like Kotlin or Swift. 5 out of 10. AI and machine learning. Go has ML libraries like Gorgonia, but Python still dominates AI. It's fast, but lacks deep ML ecosystem. 6 out of 10. Systems programming. Go is great for cloud services, networking tools, and even container tech like Docker. Super efficient. 9 out of 10. Automation and scripting. Go is great for automation, especially in DevOps and cloud. Faster than Python, but not as easy. 8 out of 10. Kotlin, the modern Java alternative. Game development. Kotlin can be used with libgdx for game dev, but it's not the first choice. Unity, C#, or Unreal, C++ is better. 5 out of 10. Web development. With Core and Spring Boot, Kotlin is great for back-end web apps, but it's not as mainstream as Java or JavaScript. 8 out of 10. Mobile development. Kotlin is the official language for Android development. If you're making Android apps, this is it. 10 out of 10. AI and machine learning. Kotlin has libraries like Kotlin DL, but Python still rules AI. It's growing, but not the first choice. 6 out of 10. Systems programming. Kotlin runs on the JVM, so it's not ideal for low-level systems programming. Rust or C++ is better. 4 out of 10. Automation and scripting. Kotlin works for scripting on the JVM, but it's not as simple as Python or Bash. 7 out of 10. Swift, the language that powers Apple's ecosystem. Game development. Swift works for iOS game dev with SpriteKit and SceneKit, but Unity, C# is more popular for serious games. 6 out of 10. Web development. Swift can build web backends with Vapor, but it's nowhere near as popular as Node.js, PHP, or Python. 5 out of 10. Mobile development. Swift is the language for iOS development. It's fast, modern, and Apple's favorite. 10 out of 10. AI and machine learning. Swift has Core ML for AI on iOS, but for real AI work, Python is still king. 5 out of 10. Systems programming. Swift is fast and safe, but it's not used for OS development like Rust or C++. Still, Apple is pushing it. 6 out of 10. Automation and scripting. Swift isn't built for scripting, but it can automate macOS tasks. Still, Python or Bash is easier. 4 out of 10. Each programming language has its strengths and weaknesses, making them suitable for different tasks. Python excels in AI, automation, and web development, but isn't ideal for game development. JavaScript dominates web development, but isn't strong in systems programming. Java is a solid choice for Android apps, enterprise software, and back-end development, but isn't lightweight. C# shines in game dev with Unity and enterprise applications. C++ is unmatched in high-performance applications like game engines and systems programming. Go is great for back-end systems and concurrency, but lacks GUI support. PHP powers the web, but isn't used outside it. Rust is perfect for systems programming, offering memory safety and speed. Swift is a must for iOS apps, but isn't widely used elsewhere. Kotlin is the best for Android development and strong in back-end services. Each language serves a purpose. Choosing the right one depends on what you want to build.